Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mace. I'm coming to you from a small town in Canada. I'm in British Columbia out on the west coast. Hope you're doing amazing. Today we're looking at Trump voters who might be regretting their vote and now they want to turn face and say, I want empathy, after this damage has been done and the world's in turmoil. But I will say that the world's been in turmoil for a long time. We're kind of in a weird time, a post-truth era of accelerated totalitarianism, basically. I think AI and technology is really going to make it easy for wannabe dictators and wannabe authoritarians, real ones, not just the tin pot dictators, but for real surveillance states. And it's not like we haven't been under surveillance states for a long time, and the governments know what we're doing and all of that. Sometimes I ponder, though, like, do we give the government too much credit? Do we give them too much credit for like how much they know and how well they're doing and how organized they are? I do think there's a number of quote unquote secret societies basically that control the world. Freemasons, the Vatican, and there's others. There's certainly others. The billionaires, the rich of the rich, right? The bankers, the corporate world, the oligarchs. Yeah, they basically just manipulate everything that's happening. But let's see what these Trump voters are talking about. Let's go. Let's check it out. Shouldn't we? Shall we?
I'm never forgiving y'all for putting us in this position. I know some of y'all have come out with these regretful, tearful videos saying that y'all sorry for what y'all did to us in November. You're sorry for your choice and all that stuff. And that's great that you have decided to wake up. Fantastic. I personally am never forgiving you because you set this country on a course that it didn't have to be on. You put us in a position willfully that is going to take decades to even get close to being fixed. Decades. People have suffered, people have been unalived because of your choice, because of your willful ignorance, because of your lack of empathy, because of your lack of sympathy, because of your refusal to look at fact.
I will say that I think the States has been on this course to a sort of xenophobic, basically white supremacist tinged Christian fundamentalism. It's like anybody who's not like the whole anti-immigrant and all the rhetoric, ICE being armed and funded to the teeth, and just voting in Donald Trump. I think the States has been on this course, so I think there is something to say for blaming and criticizing the people that voted for Trump, not just once, but twice and three times. That they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were voting for. You have guys like Hegseth, all the people, the sycophants and the people Trump surrounds himself with. They have really weird views. Their views are basically like, woman stay home and have babies and cook and take care of things. Husband goes out and everybody else in the household listens to that. Like Hegseth even had that, like Christian fundamentalists speaking at like an event at the Pentagon, and the guy was like, literally thinks that women shouldn't be able to vote.
I've tried every single phase of trying to reach these people before we got here. Empathy, sympathy, reasoning. I personally know a mother of 4 who ignored all the facts and voted against all 4 of her children. I know a dude who I on the phone, I talked to this guy and I said, hey man, this guy's a terrible dude. He's a horrible person. And he literally said he didn't care about any of that as long as he got lower taxes.
It makes me think of the mother who was a Trump voter and her son was killed by ICE. And then she said, I'd still vote for Trump.
I can't forgive that person. I can't forget that person exists. Someone that I considered a friend for 2 decades literally said to me that he didn't want to educate himself enough to care about what we're dealing with. I can't ever forgive that. I can't forgive the fact that 99.99999% of us are not against pedophiles. It's insane. I can't forgive the fact that y'all gave up democracy to the least patriotic person to ever hold office. I can't forget that y'all willfully chose to destroy and alter people's futures. I can't forget that y'all ignored that there was no metric that that guy was a better choice. Not personally, politically, morally, spiritually, none. There was none. Economically, no metric that made him the better choice, and y'all ignored all that and chose him anyway.
To be fair, the Democrats got to come up with some better candidates, man. Like, this is not a knock necessarily on Kamala, but like, I don't think Kamala had a chance, especially coming into the race that late. You know, by the time Biden dropped out, it was just, there was too much momentum for Trump and too much ground to make up for her. So, and she certainly wasn't very charismatic or likable, in my opinion, as a political candidate. In 2024, we are living in idiocracy, so it's not who the best candidate is on paper. Like, it's who people are going to vote for, who can get people engaged and riled up and out to vote.
I'm never forgiving that. I can't just let that go and say, welcome back. As a comedian, so words matter to me. So it's even more depressing when I know comedians that I've shared the stage with, gone on road trips with, road stories that have turned out to be shitty human beings, shitty people, horrible people. I've watched people sell out for a few bucks. I've watched people give up their goddamn souls for a few dollars. I can't forgive that. And the number one reason for me is because we're still living it. We're still living the nightmare that y'all put us in. Every day he does something to destroy lives or hurt people or unalive people. Every day. The fact that y'all let this criminal, this pedophile, this demon, the fact that y'all let this dude get this power back, I can never forgive. It's hard to forgive somebody for putting you in a nightmarish situation while you're still living the nightmare. I'm never forgiving you.
Someday everyone will be pretending that they were always against this. Nope. Not if I've got anything to fucking say about it. I'm never going to forgive or forget. You know why? Because there's no room for fellowship with me when you watch videos of people being summarily executed by goon squads, and you go, that's all right with me. There's no room for friendship with me when you hear about 6-month-old infants being tear gassed to the point they stop breathing, and what you're worried about is that protesters interrupted a church service because the asshole at the pulpit's night job was helping the goon squad grab children. There's no room for that with me. As far as I'm concerned, in 20 years, when you're ashamed and you're scared because history doesn't look kindly on fascists or fascist sympathizers, so you lie to your friends and family. You say, I didn't really support it all back then. They should fucking know, because it is an indicator of absolute mortal fucking bankruptcy to look around this goddamn country and say, yeah, that's what I support. No, I'm not going to let you lie and pretend that you were always against this. I'm not going to. It's not like a late payment on a credit report. It doesn't fall off after 7 years.
And he is riled up.
I'm not going to forget, and I don't think anybody should.
Trump voters are now asking for forgiveness.
He kind of reminds me of Crispin Glover from back some.
Our empathy, and to understand why they voted the way they did. But here is the truth. Most people are not ready to forgive because the damage is already done. The policies they cheered for are already impacting people. Families are struggling. Communities are hurting. And since it's affecting them too, they want our sympathy. So do you think it's too late for empathy? Or is it too late to forget? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And thank you so much for your support. Please share and subscribe, all right? Let's dive into it.
I hear this all the time, especially from MAGA. Things like, can't we just put aside politics and still be friends? And historically, yeah, usually we could. But today, no. And there's a reason why. And this has nothing to do with politics anymore. So let's make that clear. This is about what you are willing to excuse, what you are willing to defend, and what you are willing to normalize. When you support someone who repeatedly amplifies bigotry and hatred and fear, when you excuse constant lying that has been documented and recorded and proven over and over again, when you ignore corruption, abuse of power, and an open contempt for democracy, that's not a political difference. That's a moral one.
Someone actually asked me this morning, well,
yeah, and, you know, to add on something to his point, I think people are getting more cynical, more callous, especially with their online behavior. And it kind of started with the whole, you can be online, there's no consequence for anything that you say, right? You can say whatever you want. Nobody's like, there's too much going on. You can hide behind a keyboard, hide behind, an avatar, and just say whatever you want. So people get meaner, they get more just flippant with their comments, and less empathetic and less caring about humans, basically. Schadenfreude on, steroids. So social media, like, our brains are becoming completely rewired. I'm going on vacation next week. I'm really going to try to disconnect. I'm going to film a bunch of stuff. I'm going to take videos. I have an interest in videography and filming and editing and composition and stories and conversations and meeting people. But I'm going to edit everything when I get home. I'm not even bringing my laptop. I'm not bringing any, because I just want to disconnect. I want to stay off my phone. I want to go off the grid for a bit, as much as I can.
Does it matter who they voted for if someone is sharing that they're being bullied, a grown adult? Yes, it actually does matter. But also, it depends. Are they being bullied for something that they can't change about themselves, like their sexuality or the color of their skin or a disability they may have? Then sure, it doesn't matter who they voted for or who's doing the bullying. We should stand up for that. But are you being bullied because of who you voted for? Yeah. If you voted for the bully, yeah. I don't give a shit if you're being bullied at that point. Are you being bullied because you're a MAGA Republican who has bad hair and bad makeup and you want someone to feel sorry for you when somebody is...
I will say that even now, there's still something to say for two wrongs don't make it right. So we really shouldn't bully people. You can be criticize, and we don't want to erase the chance of dialogue and conversation and bringing people back to a compassionate and empathetic society, and having people maybe wake up and say, oh, I screwed up. There has to be a way out. There has to be a road to some sort of solution and redemption for people. And bullying is never the right answer. You don't want to just have people going around bullying people. I don't think, anyways. Criticizing, ridiculing, maybe, but not personally attacking and going after them 100% all of the time.
Pointing out that you have poor taste, not just in presidents, but in makeup and hair and clothes. No, I don't fucking feel sorry for you. It absolutely does matter when someone is chasing clout by claiming to be bullied by someone on the internet who is an avid Trump activist who has basically made a platform out of pointing out how ridiculous and insufferable MAGA women are. Yes, yeah, it does fucking matter who they voted for. Sometimes, and I can promise you exactly who is going to get mad at this sentence, sometimes people deserve it. Sometimes you deserve it. And I absolutely have zero empathy for someone who feels like they're being persecuted when they're the ones that are actually doing the persecuting. And you know what they say, equality feels like oppression if you're the one that's always been doing the oppressing.
So I just saw a breakdown overview of Trump's address to the country or whatever he was talking about. And I honestly, I've said this before, I will never, ever, when I say ever, never, forgive the people who allowed this man to get back in office. How he just be straight up lying. How do you just straight up lie when you, even your own people are coming out and saying that what you pretty much is saying is a lie? How he actively be lying. He just says stuff, and
yeah, he's one of the biggest liars in human history, that's for sure.
And
however, I think pretty much every politician holds a candle to every politician is a liar, but Trump, he takes the...
It's just he don't know he can be fact-checked. But the problem is, the people that still support him don't fact-check. They're just willfully ignorant, and he loves that, and he plays on that. It still bothers me. It still bothers me because we have to deal with this for so much longer.
War is peace. Freedom is slavery.
Why would y'all do this to me?
Strength.
What did I ever do to anybody to for us to have this president again? What did us as the sane, educated citizens, what did we do to y'all, the ones who voted for him? What did we do to y'all to make us have to go through this? Because he just be lying. Every time a tragedy happens. He's so unserious. He don't even know how to be professional and just give a professional, heartfelt message when something tragic happens. He literally just can't do nothing professionally. He just can't do it. It's funny, but it's really not funny. It's really not funny. But all I could do is laugh at this point. Like, all I could do is watch this man and just laugh. All you can do is laugh to keep from crying.
I do feel like the Iran war, though, has somewhat fractured the Trump pundits and the Trumposphere and all of the podcasters and content creators who supported Trump so vehemently, who are now like kind of turning their back on him and criticizing him and like pretending that they didn't, continually get on their knees for him for like the past 10 years.
Because we have to deal with this for how much longer? Y'all, I'm probably gonna be complaining about this man for the next 3 years, so get used to it, honestly.
MAGA has made hate their brand. And let's be clear, their mission is white nationalism. For years, they've spewed venom at black folks, immigrants, Muslims, women, LGBTQ folks, anybody for that matter outside of their little bubble. And they didn't whisper it. They screamed it. They monetized it. They turned cruelty into content. They cheered violence.
Welcome to 2026.
They laughed at suffering. And anytime somebody that they hate got hurt or silenced, they called it justice. But now Charlie Kirk is dead, and they're calling for compassion. They want us to forget the years of bile, the dehumanization, the glee over other people's pain, and instead shed tears for their mouthpiece. But, man, that's just not how this works. You can't build your entire movement on the downfall or celebrating the downfall of others, then demand empathy when the same storm comes to you. But that's the hypocrisy of MAGA. Hate as a mission, cruelty as a strategy, white nationalism as a brand. But the second they face what they cheer for, they want to play the victim. Words have power. Remember that.
I find it so hilarious that Trump supporters are trying to tell us, oh my gosh, we regret our vote. We're sorry. It's too late. It's too late. What do you think? You think we were going to come with you guys in open arms and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You see the light now. Let's be best friends. No. Y'all destroyed the country because y'all did not want to see a qualified woman be president. And now look where it's got you.
Just to put my 2 cents into the mix, fuck your purple revolution. I'm never going to forgive those people that voted for him. Ever. And we're done. As a society, we are done not holding shitty people accountable when they do something shitty. Like, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to forgive a racist that voted for Trump, who now lost their health care? No, I don't think so. I think you're getting exactly what you voted for, and that just makes me so happy. And just like to add on another thing we should just...
She seems a little unhinged. I don't know. I still think there's something to say for taking the high road and trying to be the bigger person, trying to turn things around, trying to... But yeah, I get it. I get it. It is exhausting, though, isn't it? Like, I mean, I'm a Canadian, so I'm just looking at all this on the outside like, damn, got a whole friggin' Royal Rumble down there, and people are just getting thrown out of the ring, thrown through tables, thrown off the top cage. Got presidents who are basically just characters, wrestlers, caricatures. So it is. It's a gong show. It's a literal gong show down there, I will say. And, you know, I try to, like I said before, it's so exhausting, and it's really not good for you to digest this much negative content, because everything is negative, right? Everything. Isn't that exhausting? When you go in your communities, interact with people, and you can find a peace, a calmness, a humanity with all those community transactions that happen. So try to make the best of it. That's all you can do. Go out for a hike and go to the lake and go for a swim. Enjoy your summer.
Just, we need to move on. We need to unite. No. I want to talk about...
So what are you going to do? Make it your life mission to just be obsessed with politics? And once again, Canadian looking in, it's so polarized down there. It's so volatile. And the next election cycle is going to be a wild, wild ride, depending on who wins and who's the next candidate for the Republicans.
The controversial idea of forgiving triple Trump voters or not.
Triple Trump voters.
There are a lot of creators on here who are making videos to explain why they voted for Trump
Double TV.
3 times in the past and why they would never do it again. And of course, there's a huge division over people who accept their apology and accept their willingness to change and grow. And there are just as many people who don't want to hear it, too little, too late. And I think this is important to acknowledge. You don't have to forgive anyone. You don't owe anyone your forgiveness. A lot of these people, with their vote, have personally impacted you. So you do not have to be the bigger person and forgive someone like that. And you might be the type of person who likes to see someone grow or change, even if the impact in the past was significant. There is space for both.
I totally understand why so many people are so angry.
She made a good
because
point.
Millions of people right now are facing higher cost, groceries, gas, fewer protections, and uncertainty.
Yeah, so inflation, things are getting worse, blah, blah, blah. That's been happening. That's been happening for decades. The system, Trump is a symptom of the system. He is an outcome that, could have been predicted. It might not have been Trump. It might have been some other populist. It might have been some other demagogue who's going to say whatever, he needs to, wants to enrich himself and his family and his business and make more money, greedy, make his friends richer, insider trading, all of that. But it's been bad. Inflation's been going up. Wages have been stagnant. Housing prices are completely unreachable, unfathomable to be even in the realm of possibility for most young people. And the middle class is being eroded. There's basically, you got billionaires and everyone else. But everything continually goes up. Your bill is going up. Your prices, every single bill will gradually, in the past 5 years, tell me what your cell phone bill was 5 years ago. Tell me what your internet bill was 5 years ago. Tell me what your mortgage was 5 years ago. Tell me what your house insurance was 5 years ago. Tell me what your car insurance was 5 years ago. And what is it now? And tell me what your wages were 5 years ago, and what is it now? There's going to be a discrepancy. There's going to be something that doesn't make sense. Grocery prices, what were they 5 years ago? What are they now? Everything it's a losing battle, man. And you don't want to get too cynical, but like I said, the disconnecting part is maybe the only option that you can do. Just pull the plug. Get out of the matrix. I don't mean that in like the Andrew Tate idiotic influencer of the manosphere, whatever that crap is. I just mean it like we gotta get outside and reconnect with the earth and nature and people. All right, see you on the next one.